As Dr. Linda Hamilton unwraps her acupuncture needles, her patient is quietly waiting on the floor.
Some acupuncture points that are pretty sensitive.
Her patient is not BRENLEY Susser. It is Susser's 11-year-old French bulldog, Jolie.
They don't have to do anything. They just have to look gorgeous.
Jolie comes to see Hamilton about once a month for acupuncture and chiropractic work to relieve her of extreme neck pain, something Susser says has literally saved Jolie's life.
It was to the point where we were thinking about putting her down. She was in that kind of pain. And Linda figured out the problem right away and dealt with it, and she's just her own happy self again. She's really a happy girl.
Good girl.
For 24 years, Hamilton was a traditional veterinarian working out in Selkirk. About 6 years ago, pet owners started asking her about alternative medicine for their animals. At the time, she says she thought it was the most ridiculous thing she had ever heard.
I would roll my eyes and say there's no science to that. But more and more people were asking about it, so I thought I should probably find out more about how this works so that I can tell people how bogus it is. So I took a little mini course, completely skeptical, and within about an hour or two of hearing the science behind the acupuncture, chiropractic, physio, that kind of things, I had an about face.
In fact, she had such an about face that she actually gave up her traditional veterinary practice in Selkirk and opened an alternative medicine practice in Winnipeg. Now she sees hundreds of animals every year, many of whom are referred to her by other veterinarians in the city.
I've got veterinarians who will call me up and say, I've got this tough case. It might be a mobility problem. It might be a strange immunodeficiency problem. There's nothing more we can do in Western medicine. Do you think you can help? And I always tell people, I can't guarantee anything, but oftentimes people are willing to give something a try. Oh, Jolie. There we go. Yes.
Hamilton does her work on the floor to make the animals as comfortable as possible. And she says it's amazing how relaxed the pets are when they're in her office. Even cats will lay still and let her work.
It's a bit of a difference.
She's treated everything from skin conditions and digestive problems to immune disorders and even some cancers. Though she stresses she doesn't necessarily cure everything, she says her treatments can provide a better quality of life for a sick animal.
So these are all little tiny adjustments that I'm just doing along her neck.
A large percentage of the issues Hamilton fixes are bone and joint related. That is what brought Richard NAKONECZNY and his 8-year-old Cumber Spaniel Jazz to the clinic. Incredible back and hip pain that were affecting Jazz every time she moved.
It was a choice, either try surgery with less than a 50-50 chance of actually getting any better, or try this approach, which should take more time, but seem to have a better record, so I figure we'll go for the longer time.
There we go, honey bunny.
NAKONECZNY says Jazz's condition improved slowly at first, but after a few treatments, the difference was like night and day. Now she comes in for a tune-up every few months, but she's generally doing just fine.
Right.
French Bulldog Jolie is doing just fine, too.
Alive, thanks to you.
And while other people might be skeptical of how effective this kind of treatment can be, BRENLEY Susser says her elderly dog's mobility is proof that it does work.
I think it works for people. Why wouldn't it work for dogs? They have a skeletal structure, very different, but the same sort of idea.
My biggest cheerleaders are the people that come in and say, okay, I don't believe any of this at all. I don't think this is going to work. And then it always seems to be those animals are the ones that have these amazing recoveries. And the people just turn around and say, I didn't believe any of this, but man, I'm going out telling everybody at the dog park, at work, my friends, my neighbors, that this can potentially really help.
For Go Winnipeg, I'm Kim Babbage.
She's just a sweet little thing.